Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am just back from one trip, heading out for another one this afternoon, and a third one later on this week. And it's funny, these tips. I had one planned, and I thought, sometimes things happen in a row. It's like when you hear the word Chinese food 2 or 3 times, you say, "Wow, I have to have Chinese food." Well, I had a couple of situations occur on the last few days, and I think it's time to talk about, it's the universe's way of telling me it's time to talk about communication again. I had a client from Kentucky who's a real character and uses a lot of Southern colloquialisms and nuances. He's a riot. It gets me laughing every time we talk. And he was saying, you don't have much of a Boston accent. And I said, well, there's a couple reasons for that. One is that I grew up in Western Massachusetts more than I did Eastern Massachusetts. And the other one is that I'm careful about it because I don't think you'd want to sit through a presentation or even a sales tip if I'm throwing wicked and ka and things like that at you. So it's a little distracting. I'll leave that to my friend John Foley. But yesterday and the day before, I was at Liberty National Golf Course in New Jersey, and I was attending the President's Cup. And it was funny, you're sitting there at a hole and you're waiting. This is the United States versus the world. It's versus the international team, and the U.S. was just crushing it. It's not even going to last, I think, the first or second match today. But anyway, it's an interesting experience. And as you're sitting waiting for the next group to approach, you're kind of listening. You can't help but listen to the communication around. And it got me thinking about oral versus written communication. And I came up with some rules here. Where did I put them? Here we go. When it comes to oral communication, number one, be clear. Be clear. Speak clearly. Enunciate your words. The next one is to be authentic. All right, be careful. If somebody asks you to say something twice and you get it wrong the second time, they're going to know that you're not being authentic, aka you might be lying. Third one is be proper. You've heard me say this before. This one's more at the millennials than anything else. Someone says, thank you. Your answer is not, no problem. Your answer is, my pleasure, or you're welcome. Use proper English. Sorry, this is not old man Farquharson talking. This is the way of the world. You gotta be careful. The fourth is to be careful in public. I was stunned with what personal and private business information people were sharing in public. It's stunning to me. They're bad-mouthing their coworkers and they're bad-mouthing their company. I'm thinking to myself, you have no idea who might be standing around you. So you got to be extremely careful. Now, let's talk about written communication. My first note is to be careful. Be careful. The written word is far more powerful than the spoken word. So that you can be clever orally, but if you try to be clever in writing, it might backfire on you. So the golden rule is you never write anything that you wouldn't want someone else to either read or misread. Okay? The next one is to be proper. Sorry, there's a way to write a letter, and you should learn what that way is. There's a way to sign off on a letter, even emails. You got to be careful with these things. I've talked about this in the past 6 months in particular. Be careful. If you're not sure, show it to someone. But for certain, double check everything. And then the final written communication tip is to be brief. No one's going to read on and on and on about your rantings. Be brief. Get to the point. You have to figure that people scan your emails. They scan your letters. And it's amazing. How many times you send someone an email and they get back to you with a question, you're thinking, it's right there in my email. They're not reading it. They're scanning it. They're eating it, in the words of, I think it's Seth Godin who says that. So that's it on communication. I'm done communicating for today. I'm off to Newport, Rhode Island this afternoon for a quick presentation tomorrow for Pine, and then down to, where are we? Long Island later on this week. If you're down in that area, and you want to take in some free material, I'm giving a presentation there at Canon for, let's see, the 25 best sales tips ever. And then the afternoon, I talk about how to sell digital print. So if you go to the Idea Alliance website, which I will show somewhere on the screen, you can check it out. And there is a code that you can use to get it for free. That's it. And this is the same one, by the way, that I'm going to be at later on this month, now that it's October, in San Diego and San Francisco. So we're coming your way as well. Thanks. That's all I have to communicate with you today. Have a great selling week, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.